I'm going to show you how to install your water level sensor on your water tank. So first what you want to do is to pick out a spot where it's going to go. But before you make the cut, you need to check underneath if there's any rivets or anything that can block the way of this thing. So you just want this to sit straight and have nothing blocking it or touching it, just so it works correctly. Okay, so I picked out my spot right here. I don't really have much option because I have the wheel well here, so very limited, but this will work just fine. Then you're going to trace the inside of the circle, which is where you're going to make your cut. And I would use one of those Christmas tree bits because those keep the plastic shards together and out of the tank. But I don't have one of those and I did not find one at Lowe's. So I'm going to use this, which is 1.5 inches wide. You ever start cutting holes and just think you're doing everything correctly and then just right before you do it, praying you're doing everything correctly, because this is an expensive water tank. And I don't want to be messing it up. Putting holes in for no reason. Okay, don't say that. Double check, triple check, quadruple check. Yeah, I'm happy with it there. Nice. Yay, there's nothing in the way. You want to keep as much plastic out as possible. Nice. But before you even use this, when you're done, you want to wash it out. Make sure there's no plastic in there. I'm gonna vacuum it and then install everything and then wash it out, flush it out, whatever you want to call it. Place the gasket back on and just mark out where you have to drill holes for the screws to go into. Like that. And drill them out. So here is the level sensor. How this works is with the water, it just pushes this thing up and it lets you know basically how high it is. This is empty, this is full. So right now mine is clearly empty. Little problem. It doesn't look like these are aligning. Let's still try it. So these holes are not aligning. I got one, but the rest are just, as you can tell, the gasket is off, the holes are off. So don't trust your gasket to put your holes in there. I'm gonna fix that though. What I am going to do is I'm just gonna leave it like this, drill some holes where these are, and then put my screws in, and then I'll just close off whatever other holes there are with silicone, and I might even put a beam of silicone around this. I wish I checked that the gasket didn't align properly with this thing. But that's why I'm filming, so you can learn from my mistakes. Okay, I'm gonna drill these holes and do that. as with anything plastic, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to screw it too tightly, just because it's plastic and it can crack pretty easily. So be careful. But this looks good. Now I'll show you how to connect your level sensor to your power. So this one has two colors, blue and brown. So the blue one is the negative, and I'm going to use this two-way lever nut to connect it to the negative of my battery, which is the black wire. Put the black wire with the blue one. Make sure that's secure. So the brown wire will go to the indicator and then to the battery. So I have to set this up to be connected first. Because my water level reader did not come with wires, I am going to cut a small piece of wire and add them to the gauge. So I have my positive and negative here, which I marked. These have numbers and it comes with instructions, so I just marked it right on here just so I know what is what. And I'm gonna place these in here. So the red wire that goes to my tank gauge is my signal input, so I'm gonna put that into the number 3 for the signal input. And this black wire here is connected to the negative of my tank gauge, and I'm gonna connect it to the negative here and the negative that goes to my battery. I'm gonna get one of these and connect all my negatives. So I will use a two-way lever nut to connect my switch to the positive that runs to my battery. And the other wire from that switch will be connected to the wire that goes to the gauge right here. Actually, no, I want a backlight on my gauge, so I'm gonna do a 3-way connection for the positive that goes into my gauge, and add the wire for the backlight. So now it's just time to test it out and make sure it works. I cannot test the gauge because I don't have my plumbing in, so I can't put water, but I can see if my switch works and the backlight turns on. Okay, let's test it. So turn on my buddy. This is the switch for the gauge, so if I turn that on, it turns on. Of course, I can't see if the level works, but it turns on, and soon I'll have my plumbing and I can check if the level actually moves. Hopefully it does. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't, so. I'm so happy this actually works. Make sure you test everything once you hook it up, just so I have a lot of things that didn't end up working and I had to fix them, so just make sure you test everything. Easier to test it as soon as to fix it as soon as possible than it is later on. So, I will see you in my next video.